That was a nasty noise.
Yeah, I can pretty much crack my ankles at any...
I think you cracked your soul.
Yeah, I think. Well, to be fair, that was a simultaneous ankle and knee crack.
Oh my God, so Mr. Lewis just press record on the laptop, which we professionally have in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
On the floor. We need to sort that out.
Yeah.
We need to make a cool way of being able to have it in shot.
Could we ever have it so we got it like over there in front, so it's like almost it's below the camera?
Because then we'd have all the wires going out.
We'd have to like get some extra long ones to go across,
Whatever way
around, and then in.
Yeah, you're getting too
Or
technical.
roll your carpet up and just run the
Let's
cables
just
under
dig
your
the
carpet.
house up in the aid of a podcast room.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, though, that crack, you didn't hear it because unfortunately we weren't pressing record because Miss Lewis was going to press record as his entire body chiropracted itself.
Yeah. I sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies most
It's
of the
probably
time.
because it's a Wednesday and not a Friday and we're recording
My
this
body's
early and
fighting
your
it.
body's fighting it.
Yeah, it just doesn't want to be here right now.
And so, yeah, we're having to record this early because Mr. Lewis is off for a sex change
Yeah.
operation to become a real boy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's sick of bees. At the moment, you're just basically like a action man down there.
Yeah.
Just smooth.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Yeah.
You're the official spokesperson for gender neutral.
Yeah. I am literally completely neutral. No anus or anything. Literally poo through my mouth right now.
Oh, how far in are we? A couple of minutes and we already got poo in there.
There we go.
We can tell it's a
Well,
midweek
when I-
Wednesday.
When I turned up at Lex's house, I was like, all right, Lex, I need a poo.
I'd like to point out that was maybe the fourth sentence.
Yeah.
the door.
I was really bloated. But Lex, he's
no-
understanding.
Yeah. Oh, it's bloke
Some
humour,
people,
isn't
I
it?
don't understand why people get so funny about, like, you know,
needing the toilet.
we all have to do these things. And, like, fair enough, yeah, they're private, but also, like, why, we shouldn't be ashamed that we need to go for a poo.
Did you play rugby as a kid?
A little bit, but yeah.
If you've ever been on a rugby team, no level of bodily function is out of bounds.
Yeah.
So by the time you've been on a rugby team thread, nothing in this world will shock you.
Yeah.
2 girls, 1 cup, walk in the park.
Yeah. I'll watch it every morning with breakfast. God, remember that? Like,
What?
when that actually came out, the 2 girls, 1 cup thing.
I remember I was on I hope this is a rough conversation to start the podcast with. I'm just anyway. So I saw it on a laptop in the middle of how long ago was it? Was it uni time?
I was at school.
I think it was in uni. No, it can't have been at uni.
I was at school, so it's got to be
further back
11,
than that,
12
isn't it?
years.
Yeah, it's way further back
It's
than
got to be. Well, I left school about 11, 12 years ago.
Either way, I was near something, and I was on a chair with wheels at the time.
Yeah.
And all I did was kick off the nearest thing and jettison myself across the other side of the room away from the footage.
Yeah.
It was horrific. Never watched it more than half a second. That got in my eyeballs, and that was it. I thought, I'm not having that in my brain.
Yeah, I saw, I don't know, I can't remember how long, but at first it starts off normal, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
like, someone poos into a cup.
Oh,
But it's out of nowhere.
so rough. Lovely. Well, welcome to the podcast, episode 11.
Yeah, the 2 girls, 1 cup edition. Yeah, last episode we gave our honest review of Justice League. Now it's our honest review
Yeah,
of
of toiletry habits. Brilliant. Lovely. We've downgraded ourselves. But anyway, we're here. It's a Wednesday. It's midweek. It's actually quite nice because I was having a bit of a slow start to the week. I managed to sleep on my arm to the level where it no longer works. I
No,
crippled my I cripple a crossface, the crossface crippler.
Yeah.
What
Cripple
Ben
a
Morrison?
crossface.
Cripple a crossface
Yeah.
myself. Yeah, somehow during my sleep, and now can't lift my arm much above shoulder height without it getting in pain. But it's so yeah, I haven't worked out for 2 days, so I'm pretty cranky.
Yeah.
Quite cranky.
Probably just needs a bit of rest. I've had it before where, like, you literally just slept on something really funny and it just, like, finishes you off.
Well, I came downstairs and did my normal thing. I thought, I'll do my monkey hangs on the bar, stretch it out, that'll be right. No, made it worse.
Yeah.
Definitely made it worse.
Have you tried, like, a real wide or as wide grip hang as you can, just so there's less, like, pressure in your shoulder joint?
What, hanging still?
Yeah, but, like, as wide.
Dangling?
Yeah, but as wide as you can get on your pull-up grips.
I always get a lot of rear delt ache when I do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real engagement. I don't know, maybe I'll try it. I'll try it after this. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I remember I went through a phase of doing a lot of pull-ups and weighted pull-ups, like, pretty much every session. Very close, like, pretty much shoulder width apart, so, like, arms directly up.
Yeah.
And after a while, I started to get a lot of pain in my shoulder joint just because...
It does hit the front shoulder more, doesn't it, when you bend closer?
I think it was just the amount of compression from being in a dead hang. There's a lot of, like, everything's crunched up
You ever
together.
notice when you pull up though with a narrow arm, you go up more at an angle as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, you
So
come
end
out
up
and then going
stressing
round.
shoulders way more. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I carried on the same program, but I just literally switched everything to wider grip, which was harder for me anyway. So
Yeah.
everything kind of weights-wise backed off a little bit,
Yeah.
and then shoulder felt great after a bit.
Yeah, no, it'll be back, I reckon, in a day or two. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Just in time for the sunshine and a bit of motorbiking. Bit of motorbiking.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were having a discussion before. I think it's quite a good one to start with because we're going to be a big I look at you, you look at me. We have a good little time. We are coming out of lockdown, and that means roads are going to start getting full of people/idiots again.
Yeah.
And we were having a little discussion about road rage.
Yeah.
On the current, and I was saying, oh, that's a good topic actually, because I used to have really bad road rage. And I mean, like, pull over on the motorway, get out my car, road rage.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter how many people were in the car. If once that button was pressed, it was just on. It was on.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear your story because we thought we'd save it for the podcast. So I and everybody want to hear your latest road rage.
Well, this literally happened today as I was leaving the gym. So I've been all day at the gym. I've been painting all the front of it, and I was in a bit of a rush because I've got to go. I'm working away for another few days.
Yeah. So you're already heart bit bothered.
Yeah.
You're working all day.
I was in a rush. I needed to get back. I still hadn't packed all my stuff together to get off to work on night, and I needed to get the podcast done. And I was like, I've got about 3 hours of driving to do. And so I started heading back, and I was going around the ring road, around Stourbridge, and there's a little slip road. You turn left to come off the ring road, which I was doing, and there was a van in front of me, and it just was about to get to the slip road, and it slowed down like a lot. Like obviously you slow down because
lost.
We slow down a lot, and basically there's turning onto a church,
Yeah.
but I've never seen anyone go down onto it. So he slowed down so much because it was in between two buildings, so he needed to literally like pretty much come to a crawl. So then I slowed right down, and as you do when you put your brakes on kind of unexpectedly, you'll check your wing mirrors.
Yeah.
Which I saw, I think it was an Audi A5 that was like bombing it down, definitely not doing 30 mile an hour, then like anchored his brakes on, then cut back into the middle lane.
He did.
Yeah, the Audi cut back into the middle lane.
Around you.
But he hadn't gone around because he'd slowed down quite a bit at this point. So he'd gone into the middle lane. By this point, the van had cleared out my way, so I carried on going down the slip road, and then the Audi cut across me. But the slip road's only 10 metres.
Yeah.
Like, so he literally was like already half in front of me, and then just cut
Basically
in.
like overtaking you on a corner.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. I was on the horn, fuming already.
Yeah.
He put his foot down and just ragged it off. Carried on round up the road a little bit, and there's another island, and then there was traffic there, so I pulled up behind him, honked on the horn again, called him a wanker, as you do. And I could see him doing something in the mirror, but his windows were tinted, so I couldn't see what he was doing. And
having a bit of a chat with you,
I could see movement. I didn't know what was going on. And I fucking honked the horn. I'm not condoning any of this. I was in a...
No, you're getting the state, like, you're getting almost this tunnel vision of they need to know what they did wrong. Do you know what stops it?
What?
Just putting a hand up and saying sorry.
Yeah.
That is all you ever need to do. You could have done the worst thing to me, but if you acknowledge it and just say, look, it's my fault, all my bad, my anger dissipates and is gone almost immediately. It's when people refuse to apologise or even acknowledge they did something wrong.
Well, let me get to it. So I saw him kicking off, and I can't remember what actually triggered it, but I honked my horn, and then I remember seeing him because I pulled up my car more to the side so I could see in his wing mirror. I could see what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
And
did you do that deliberately? So
I did.
Okay.
And I stuck my finger up at him out the window.
That's getting big.
And then I saw him reach over as if he was going for his seatbelt. So automatically popped my seatbelt, jumped out straight away. I was fucking ready to go.
Out the car.
Yeah, I was in that state. I was ready to go.
You were raging.
And I don't know whether he either got out and then decided it wasn't a good idea, or he genuinely got out and he was like, "I'm really sorry, mate. It was a genuine mistake. I thought you were pulling in with the van."
Yeah.
And then instantly I just like can't. Well, I think the first thing I said was, "Well, what the fuck?" And then he started talking, and then like calmed me down, and then I apologised. I was like, "Sorry, mate. I thought you were mugging me off," and I was just like,
so he actually got out and apologised.
Yeah,
he didn't get out to fight.
Yeah. And then like I turned around, like I was still like,
but you got your apology.
And at this point, literally, there was cars backed up because we just stopped in the middle of the road, and the woman in the car behind me just had the biggest smile on her face because she'd obviously like just witnessed the whole thing, and I was like, "Sorry,
Have a day. Have a lovely day."
Yeah, but he was still a dick. But he said, "My bad. It was a genuine mistake. I thought you were pulling in with the van."
Yeah.
I don't know why you would think that.
Well, either way, just a moment of madness.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, he was gunning it. He anchored his brakes and was quick. Yeah. I'm sure in his mind he was like, "Oh, I'll just whip around either way." But
anyway,
yeah,
didn't end up in a tussle, which is always a good thing.
I know, but I was fucking ready at the time. I was seeing red.
Yeah. You do though. You get so because you build it up and you get angry and you're basically arguing with yourself. And it's like, when you think of something, and then you start to think of all the stuff that could go wrong or possibly go wrong, and you start to worry yourself endlessly about stuff that's not even happened. And it's the same with the road. I was the same as you, so I would chase people down. I'd be like, you need to know what you did, that was dangerous. I wouldn't just chase someone down because they forgot to indicate or anything. I'm talking about that kind of thing where you're like, that could have caused an accident kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that there are too idiots idiots on the road for me to be this way, and the only person I'm actually affecting is me, because I'm in this constant anticipated rage. I'm like the Hulk.
Yeah,
I'm just permanently angry when I'm in the car, and it's the only way I can maintain is to just stay a constant. So now I was like, this isn't healthy. It's not healthy, because then you start driving badly yourself as well, because you then start driving badly to catch people who are driving badly.
Being an aggressive driver,
you become part of the problem. So here's one of my tricks, right? I started giving idiot drivers accents and voices. In front of me. So if they were like doing stuff stupid, they'd just become this daft little character that I create. So say I've got somebody in front of me who's braking for no reason, and not indicating, I'd be like, oh, look at me. Oh, don't know. Oh, that was the brake. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, look at that. Oh, it makes a red light noise. Oh, press it again.
Sound like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, press it again for no reason. Oh, this is great fun. And I just do like this, and every time I do something, I'm going to indicate left to go right. Yes, that's what I've done. Oh, look at me. I'm a surprise round every corner. And I do this, and I end up make the whole thing a comedy situation, and then I don't get mad because I'm entertaining myself. And that really honestly works. But it does mean that I look like a nutcase sometimes, just chatting along, laughing to myself in the car. But it's better than me pulling over and offering out somebody, put them up, gloves at the ready, you are going to get a whooping, my friend. I
always feel like sometimes, I think road rage infuriates me, or the people being either aggressive on the other end, because you have that sometimes as well. So people can be very brave in their car, can't they? Like, with people sticking their finger up at you or giving you some grief. And I've got, like, when I was younger, was always okay to have a fight if that was the situation. Like, that was kind of how I was, I don't know, my situation at the time. So it really frustrated me when people were, like, so brave behind the car window, and then but knowing that like they'd never get out the car, they never actually back anything up, and I'm just like, fucking have some bollocks.
Roadways and cars are now, they're the real life equivalent of Twitter.
They are. It is, and realistically it is madness. But I think because people just don't act the way they would act in real life. Like if you were walking, you wouldn't. Someone wouldn't just like violently cut in front of you.
I had one time, this is quite a funny one. So I used to have to commute, when I lived in Manchester, I used to have to commute to Hale, which is like a 20-25 minute commute, but through traffic. It's probably a 10-minute drive away, but it's tripled because of the traffic. So everybody's trying to beat a traffic light to get their work 3 minutes earlier, to get the car parking space. It's every moment matters. And I remember coming back one time, I was switching lanes because I knew which lane I needed to be in, coming up to the next new lights, because I knew which ones went through and which didn't. And so I swept around this guy because he was too slow to get over. So I got over and then didn't undertake him because it's all moving in one flow, but obviously then got past him. He for some reason made him really angry and thought I was driving dangerously. It wasn't at all. There was plenty of space. I just took the space he was taking too long to take. And it came to red lights up ahead, and then he got out of his car, right? Bearing in mind, I wasn't even mad at this, but I'd done no anger on my side. He gets out of his car. He's about 50-odd years old. He's like frail. I stepped out the car because he got out, and I thought, well, I'm getting out. Just to amuse myself at this point. I was like, what's he going to say? Is this old man going to fight me? Let's see what he does. Maybe he's be a tail. So I got out of the car, and he went, "You're a bloody idiot," and started going on about something or other. And I just remember I came out with, and I'm quite proud of this line because it shut him right up. Straight away I went, "Sir, you might want to get back in your car before I break your other hip." Because he looked like he was walking with a bit of a lean, and he just went from super angry to like,
Probably
you
correct
might have a
there.
point. Yes, yeah. And I just remember but I remember thinking, what are you? I think I said that. I said, what are you actually going to do? What's your end game here?
Yeah, getting out.
What's your end game?
The thing is, though, that's going to be us eventually.
Oh,
like
yeah.
us getting road rage.
But I will have an end game that'll be called aluminium knuckle dusters.
Yeah, this isn't a cane.
Yeah, that was funny. But I did have, I had a real problem, but my accent thing really helps.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Less angry music as well. When I know I'm getting to sections where it's going to get congested or whatever,
Yes.
I change my music.
Yeah, that's it. My old job used to drive like 50, 60,000 miles a year. And like, sometimes it'd just get you if you're on your way to a job and there's already stress. It's just like so easy to do it. And it took me about a year or two of being in that job where I was driving a hell of a lot to start to get to control of it properly. Like, and I think a big part of it was not trying to rush to get to site when I was always like, if you feel like you're in a rush, just then when somebody cuts you
your
up,
anxiety levels are already up.
Yeah, and it's just so much easier to be triggered. And the thing is, it's bullshit as well. Like racing around trying to get everywhere, you literally saving minutes at the end of the day.
So I have had to do some speed awareness courses in the past, maybe a few, and they did throw some stats out that if you're on the motorway and you're doing like 70, which is a legal speed limit, obviously in the UK, and you compare it to somebody doing 80 on the motorway, the dude doing 80 on the motorway, accident risk wise, if they hit something, fatalities go up something stupid like 30% more for just 10 miles an hour more.
Yeah.
But you literally get home something like, they worked it out on average, around 45 seconds faster to a minute.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and that stuck with me, that did.
Yeah.
Massively.
The thing is, when people are on the motorway and they're saying doing 80 or 90 mile an hour, they'll do that until they get to the next car, which will then slow them down, where in all the cars you've overtaken, slowly just catch you back up, and then that car will move out the way, you'll zoom off again, get stuck behind something else.
Yeah.
And it's
then
just
eventually, if you get to a traffic light and hit it on red, you're sitting at that for a minute. A car doing 70 miles an hour in a minute can cover a fair old distance. Yeah. So, you end up literally making it, even if you're ragging it everywhere and getting home, you make 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. It's just, it's honestly, the tough thing, so music you're listening to, does it make you aggressive? Train enough. Set off early enough, and I know it's a tough thing to say, or accept that you've set off too late. Let people know you set off too late. Don't lie and say you're now stuck in traffic. Just let them know and go, listen, falling behind, I'll be there at this time. I have friends do it to me all the time, and I'm like, cool, thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Because it's a day and age, and I'm very much aware that I'm late to a lot of stuff, so I can never get mad at anyone else for being late ever. I make it doesn't even enter my mind to be angry at somebody else for ever being late. Yeah. Because I'm late often, so no way am I double standard. That makes sense. It's terrible.
That's fair enough, though, isn't it?
Yeah, genuinely, I'm very much like that in life, though. Like, if I do something, I expect other people to do it because I'm capable of doing it. But also, if I fail at stuff, I don't chastise somebody else for failing at the same things I fail at. You know, because it's that understanding the position and things like that. And that's the thing as well. When you're in the road, understand that maybe that person is driving like a tit. Sometimes they're just a tit. Yeah. And they do need a slap, and they will get one eventually. It might not be on a road rage thing. It'll be somewhere on a night out where they gob off too much. Karma will get them. Yeah. But if it's just a normal bloke, and you're thinking, why is he getting so mad? Maybe that guy's just had a really shit day. Yeah. So maybe just put your hand up and go, it's okay. Don't worry. I had one when I was on the bike. So I do lots of wiggly roads on the bike. And I'm very aware from driving for so long in a car before I got on the bike, I'm pretty good at spotting like danger points, which is often what makes people who start out on bikes, because they're usually getting on bikes before they have been in cars for too long. Right. That's what often happens, is they get in these little entanglements because they're not able to notice things coming ahead as much, or they don't spot the idiot drivers that you do. You know, like that young lad in the Golf coming to the junction who is definitely not stopping. Yeah. But they're not used to that. So any near misses I've had have not really been that near. I've always been kind of well aware of them. And I was coming over the brow of this hill, and it's a country road, so it's 60 mile an hour. It's fast. It's a lovely road, trees either side of you. And I saw a little Corsa, red Corsa, coming up to a junction ahead. Now, the only people who drive little red Corsas are new drivers or little old ladies. Yeah. So I'm like, either way, they're bad.
Either way, someone's pulling out on me.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, they're going to pull out on me. And lo and behold, boom, they pulled out. I slammed on, and I'd well checked ahead already, so I managed to swerve around onto the other side of the road and pull up. But it was still a bit like, whoo, butt clenching moment there. A little bit of a butt clencher. And I stuck to pull over, and then she was turning right, and I'd gone over positive left, so she started turning left to come, and at this point I hadn't seen who was driving, and it was a little old lady pulled up in it, and she just wound down the window, well, electric window, yeah, and she was just like, "I'm so sorry, dear, I didn't see you," and I just said back, I just said back to her, I said, "That's because you didn't look, did you, love? You looked one way, but not my way." And I went, "Anyway, are you all right?" She's like, "Yeah, you. I'm really sorry." I was like, "Yeah, look, we're both okay, aren't we? And now you've learned. So next time, just watch out for the bike." She was like, I will. And because I wasn't an asshole, maybe that will make her look that extra time at that junction.
Yeah.
And also appreciate that she was probably quite shaken up by it as well. And me shouting at her,
oh yeah, that's not going to help.
Isn't going to help any situation, And everyone
don't shout at old ladies.
Nah, it's that thing of having the empathy for the situation as well. Everyone's all right, and plus, my reaction skills still work.
Yeah, that's it. I think obviously there is more of a. Should we pour a drink? We've got drinks here.
God,
we haven't even talked about that.
Right, it's a Wednesday. We're out of kilter. We've been knocked off.
Yeah, I didn't pick anything else.
You and your toilet talk when we came in, stuff. So we do have I'd like to point out, we're back on a well. It's a whiskey. It's a whiskey. It's Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey Whiskey. Okay. I'd like to point out, though, that it's somehow been supplied already open and somebody drunk some of it.
God knows where.
That is some real poor quality control there. I mean, come on, Jack Daniel's. I mean, how have we ended up with
he must
nearly
have
half drink bottle?
That guy Jack must have had a bit of a swig.
Maybe it was a pre-owned. Maybe it was an eBay purchase.
Maybe. Yeah.
But
if it was an eBay purchase, it'd be topped up with water.
Did you ever do that as a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, you just. Oh,
why did
we do it?
I don't know.
Why we did that? We got in. It was at Alec Robinson's house when we were at primary school, and his parents had gone out, and he had a few of us around, and we got the music on, and then somebody thought it'd be a good idea to have a few swigs from the big bottle of whiskey right in the middle of the top of the drinks cabinet, pride of place.
Yeah.
Ooh, a few swigs in, and we were jumping over the furniture, we were running around in the garden, and then he had a sudden panic attack that, well, my dad's going to notice that a quarter of this bottle is now missing. It was a giant bottle from what I remember as well. I don't remember what it was, but I remember we just filled it up with water, and because it looked okay, we thought, got away with that. Not knowing we just ruined the entire thing.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Or you'd think that it'd work, but you do so much stupid shit as a kid that it's just logically,
dumb.
In your head it makes sense. It's liquid and it looks the same.
So, your only logic is to try and get away with it so that you're not trying to make it right. You're just getting enough deniability.
Yeah,
aren't you?
Yeah, you're just trying to get away with it for now.
Yeah.
It'll be okay because he won't notice, but when he does notice, it's all ruined.
You're just biding your time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Until the bollocking is going to occur.
Yeah, but then you're just going to live with anxiety of when's this bollocking about to occur.
Oh, it happened the next day.
No, that was his dad's an
yeah.
alcoholic.
Yeah,
he drinks every day.
Oh yeah, probably. Right, but actually no, take that back. Alec is a real person, and that's his real name. So Alec, your dad's not. He's just obviously it was a weekend. He went for his nice little tipple.
Oh god,
and was like, well, this isn't right.
Yeah.
And then realised what had happened. So we have this. Well, we don't have a pop test because, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it's a screw lid, which just means it's a bit more commercialised.
Hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, lovely. Sounded quite cheeky.
Yeah.
But a bunch. So it's basically your good Jack Daniel's whiskey with an infusion of honey flavouring.
I think I've had this.
It says the fine Tennessee honey liquor has a distinct character of Jack Daniel's whiskey and liquor with notes of honey for a smooth and rewarding taste. So it says whiskey on the front, but they're calling it liquor, honey liquor, from the makers of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. Oh, so maybe it's not classed as a whiskey now because it's got the infusion. It's now a liquor. There we go. Anyway,
I don't mind.
Pour it in. Whoop. Lovely jubbly. There you go, sir.
Healthy pour. Thank you very much.
So we'll let that get down to temperature. Although the ice has melted a little bit, so it should be quite quick. So there we go. Yeah, that's a good one. I think started off with road rage. I think we've got some good little hints and tips there. Good one.
Yeah. I think road rage is something that gets all of us, isn't it? I think. But
I don't know. I know some people that have zero kind of energy when they're in a car. They're literally just in it to get where they're going, and whatever happens in the meantime does not faze them whatsoever. Usually because they're setting off early and they're getting there in plenty of time.
Yeah, they must be way more organised than us.
Way more organised, yeah. That does make a huge difference. But I'm so overwhelmed when I get somewhere early that I want a prize. I like get there and I'm like, look how early I am. And everyone's like, you're here at a normal time compared to everyone else. And I was like, yeah, but me.
But I'm early.
I need a reward. Give me a sticker or a lollipop.
I might get them for the gym. I'll get you some like I'm early stickers. Or I'm on time.
I genuinely will get, if you got something like
I'll get you a gold, which is I'm early, a silver, which is I'm on time, and a bronze is I'm within 5 minutes of when I said.
Yeah, I'm within 5 minutes because that's fully acceptable. And then there has to be a monthly prize at the end if you get a certain
If you
number
you can get like
whatever.
10 stickers or something like that. Yeah. There we go. All right.
Lovely.
Leave it with me when we're back open.
Right, beep. Here we go. Stop and start because we still haven't fixed the camera. I will have to get that sorted. I don't know.
Get the camera
so much
sorted.
going on. So much going on. Got some cool stuff coming. Did I tell you the other day on the podcast yesterday about the Harley?
Yes, you did. You said that was last week. Yeah, we spoke about the Harley.
I'm looking forward to that. April 14th.
That's
Get some
really
toots
cool.
and goots going on that. I'm going to test out some new... I've got my GoPro. I refuse to use that stupid setup where you have all the arm. I bought all the thing, and you end up with this like half crane coming around the side of your helmet to house the GoPro. It's just retarded. So I'm going to try and find a way of
Duct taping it to your forehead.
mounting it. Just
Hold it in your
straight
mouth.
on. Do you know you can get that? There's a bite mount.
Why would you want that?
You put it in your mouth as you're going to like jump and do something, so it's like a face view.
Ah,
Yeah.
strange.
Just in case you didn't like your teeth, I guess.
Yeah.
I've done this enough times and always kept my teeth. What could we change about that?
Mm-hmm.
And not get on video.
Yeah. Just it's there. Then it sees all your teeth fall out your mouth, and then the GoPro just falls off.
Just like as the GoPro's floating through, I'm assuming you're jumping into water. Just the teeth just go past the lens. Little bits of.
I'd look beautiful in 4K. That would. So all your teeth raining down on you.
Yeah. Don't know. Weird one. Yeah, I used it. Used it when we were jumping off rocks in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of works.
Yeah.
And I suppose it stops you screaming.
You scream with your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time. That was. I put up a post today on Instagram about.
I think I remember seeing that with Nathan, right?
Yeah, it's with Nathan. Yeah, he's so much fun. Please let us back into Australia, please.
Yeah. You seem like a really cool guy. I met
play
him
with my friends.
met him at Manchester.
Yeah, he's just a tip-top fella.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He's very genuine, very creative, fun guy, very outgoing.
Brilliant on the mic as well, because he was doing a lot of talking and like almost announcing stuff. Because I remember that's what I spoke to him about. Because I don't think I really knew of him. Like I'd seen him from Gym Shop. I didn't really know what he did or know much about him. And I said like, where'd that come about? Is that like something you've done in the past? And he's like, no, I just talk a lot of shit. And then like I'm quite good at talking a lot of shit in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, it is an inbuilt skill set that's like I have it to a degree. I've always been able to just get up and talk.
Yeah.
A lot of the time was me getting out of trouble. You know, like filling the void with lies on the spot. That was because I was like, I wasn't a naughty kid, but I was always getting into things. They were always fun and just a bit cheeky. They were never like anything malicious, but it did require me a lot of time to come up with a lie in the moment, on the spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, something better than, I was dead at the time. You know, and I was good at it. And I think it comes from that now. I'm able to just chat and go.
It is a useful talent.
Yeah.
And doing it well, because a lot of people can fill empty space. But
it's nonsense. Or they're using a lot of ums and ahs and likes and
and
noises.
just like what's the term when it's like a circular.
Yeah, that's a good one. What would
phrase.
you do if you're nervous about talking in front of groups of people? I'd say one of the biggest things was, and I got this from when I did my first bodybuilding show. I literally was fuck it mentality. Walk out and. As I was walking out onto stage, I was just going, fuck it, 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 fuck it. Like, literally, that was what I was doing. I was like, well, there's a big light on me. I'm never going to see most of these people again in my life, so what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
And that was literally my mentality. And that's often what I'll go back to all the time. It's just, what's the worst? Don't know these people, won't see them again. Who cares?
I think a lot of the time with any of those like high pressure perform on the moment kind of situations, the anxiety pre-doing it is always worse than once you're actually there. Like a lot of the time your adrenaline kicks in and you'll do something like whatever you got to do on stage or whatever else, and it'll be almost like people just disappear and you're just doing what you need to do. Your adrenaline's going, which kind of just like gives you tunnel vision, and then it's over and done. You're like, fuck, was that it?
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, I find that's how it feels for me a lot of the time.
Never as bad as you expect it's going to be. Unless you freeze up. But then usually that's because of your own anxiety. So that their fuck it attitude is the best way. Always just think, listen, never going to see these people again. What does it really matter? And just go out and just free float, enjoy it. That's
I think some people are really.
Stuff.
I was gonna say some people are really different with like how they approach it. Where people can like they have a script and they just nail that, so they know everything ins and outs. Which like that I can't do that. I am not able to retain.
Yeah. I'm good with pointers, and I go off the pointers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it after this. I'm going to record it's going to cause some. Karen has entered the chat.
Yeah.
It's a video. It's going to be. Yeah. It's going to be entitled "Why You're Still Fat."
Nice.
Yeah. And that is immediately going to.
I've told you, Lex, I'm bulking on purpose.
And it's going to be some harsh home truths
that
some types of people need to hear.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be a lot of facts they probably don't know that are holding them back.
Yeah.
So, as always, it's probably going to have people ready and raring to pitchfork me and pick it somewhere near my home. And then by the end of it, hopefully I'll win them over.
Yeah.
Like the lead character in a movie that starts off bumbling.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, though, like, obviously everything that you do, pretty much everything is for the benefit of other people.
Everything I do.
Trying to inform or help other people to a certain extent.
It's never to shut people down. It's always just to make them realise that they're being their own worst enemy. It's usually stuff that I've either been through or have seen a lot of. And I'm only ever giving across factual opinion, I'd say I'd call it.
Yeah.
Stuff that I know 100% will work, kind of like put all my money on it kind of jobbies.
Exactly. I think that's it as well. You're in the fitness industry, but people really underestimate that the vast majority of these problems that people have when it comes to just being fitter or healthier or whatever, it's psychological, it's not physical. And like I know lots of people that even, especially when you go into the depths of like bodybuilding prep, where people are just literally starving themselves and their body's fucking battling it every way possible. They're closer to being a therapist than they're trying to maintain them following what they need to do without them going off the rails and having a breakdown.
One of the worst things in bodybuilding is women's dieting procedures, because they're so obviously, especially for things like bikini, because they're not having to hold a lot of muscle. And those poor girls are literally following these abominations of coaches who are literally starving them into shows, and then they're coming out the other side with metabolism shut down. They've even the periods stop.
Almost always their periods stop as they start to get very lean.
Horrendous, but they're not even getting lean. They're literally wasting away. They're starvation diets, but because they are female, so they're not naturally holding as much muscle, you don't see the wastage like you would on a guy. And a lot of the guys that these blokes train are, and we're going back to this again, are geared up. It's because most of these trainers have put them on gear because the gear buffers all their dietary errors pretty much. And again, so these people would all look insanely better if they did whatever they did plus had good food. But yeah, it's going to be one of those videos where I think a lot of people who are stuck in such a situation are going to hear some stuff and be like, oh shit, never knew that. And it's because we forget that normal everyday people don't know to the depth of what we know for diets and phases, and a lot of people still don't know what a macro is. And that's crazy, but it's because we don't teach it.
No, I think that's it, isn't it? It's really, when you've been in the industry, it's just your world. Like, we learnt about that however long ago. You just take for granted that that's not common knowledge anymore. Because this is our specialty, I suppose.
A sip of the whiskey, because the ice is drastically disappearing.
Clink.
It's clinky clink. So this is the liquor, not whiskey.
Super sweet.
Oh, that is very sweet.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's almost
you can see. Yeah.
What's the word? Mead. Remember? Have you had mead?
Mead. No, I had that.
Mead's
very
nice.
like?
It's
mead
is even
drink mead.
Mead's even sweeter.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Mead is beer.
No, it's like mead's like a honey. I think it's like a honey ale or a honey spirit. I don't know.
Oh, well, now I want mead.
I'll try and get some. I don't know where the fuck I'll get mead from. I'll have a look online. I'll get some mead.
Just go to a reenactment.
Like a medieval.
Anywhere where there's a reenactment will have mead, surely.
I remember I went to a wedding of one of my dad's friends very, very long time ago as a kid.
Were they all dressed as knights and elves?
No, he was he was massively into rock and had really long hair, but his missus was into like fairies and stuff like that. And they had mead at their wedding. and that's the first time I had it. I think the first and only time I had it.
I just thought it was a really rustic beer.
No, I'm sure. If I might be mixing up the words, but I'm sure.
No, you're probably right.
Is like a honey liquor or something like that, and it's like from medieval times because I think that, like, well, I suppose at that point, honey would have been the only option because would sugar be imported in medieval times? Because like sugar was sugarcane, which is in plantations, and so like maybe they were getting some in, but honey would have been native. Like we could grow we could grow honey. We can
cultivate the honey.
We can cultivate the honey. So then I suppose that is another method of alcohol.
Well, quick breakdown. So this is Jack Daniel's honey liquor from the makers. It says then from the makers of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So I don't know if this has the Tennessee. This is a fine Tennessee honey liqueur. It says it has the characteristics of the whiskey. So I don't know if that is made in a completely different.
I don't even think that tastes anything like Jack, to be honest.
Well, no, it tastes like it has a hint of the Gentleman Jack flavour to it. That deep, rich kind of bourbon flavour.
I could drink a lot of that.
But it's very sweet. It's as if you've put honey into your whiskey, like directly, and stirred it in, like a good amount of honey. Listen, if you want to drink some whiskey with the guys, but you don't like whiskey, the Jack Daniels or anything that's honey infused and things like that are always going to be really sweet and going. But this is 35%. So most liqueurs will drop down to about 20%, even sometimes lower, like some are 14. But so it has the same hit of a whiskey, but without any of the real deep notes. Like, so you're not getting a lot of the heat. There's very little heat. A lot of sweet. The sweetness is overwhelming, to be honest. It's a very, very honey-based flavour.
I think the fact that so much of the ice had melted probably like diluted that quite quickly, which may have softened it a little bit more.
And then I'll have another bit. We'll just try a little bit without any ice.
Yeah.
But it is really nice. But it does have that smoky aftertaste to it. So the sweetness is your overwhelming first taste, but then after that's gone, you do get a smoky aftertaste. So it's quite a nice finish. It does have a nice finish to it. Definitely one to have in the cabinet if you have guests over who are not used to drinking neat whiskies and stuff.
I think, again, I know you said you don't like it with certain things, but I think that'd be good with mixers too.
You think you'd mix that? Really? You don't think it'd be overwhelming?
No, I think that'd be all right. Although, again, I've got a bit of a sweet tooth, so...
Yeah.
Maybe.
A sweet what?
Sweet tooth.
A sweet tooth?
Tooth.
Tooth?
Tooth. A sweet tooth.
What do you have on top of your house?
A roof.
Not a roof.
I don't have a roof.
I never understood this. Like where this comes from. So you say tooth, but then you'll say you want to say roof, but then you'll say you want to say tooth. You say tooth.
Yeah,
that's just colloquialism, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
There was a girl at uni, Alison, who was very, very clever, academically clever.
Yeah,
but had the common sense of a badger.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, and for the love of God, we couldn't get her to understand why tooth and roof should sound the same, because she just kept saying, no, it's tooth. She just couldn't grasp it whatsoever. But also came out with one of the classic lines of, she was like, one day, you know when you like have chocolate or you're really happy and you release those things, Sarah Lemons, and everyone in the room like head on a swivel. What?
Sarah Lemons.
You know, the things you release, Sarah Lemons. Like, are you on about sweets? She's like, no, when you're happy and your body releases it. We're like, do you mean endorphins? She's like, yeah, that's the one. That's not even the same letters.
Sarah Lemons.
The Sarah Lemons. What? Your brain just made up a word.
Yep.
You're meant to be a lawyer.
Yeah. It is mad, isn't it? I used to know quite a few people that were like academically super smart, but then the common sense was just not there, or it was like they were very gullible. Like that, you see that a lot, and you could just like blatantly crack like a really obvious joke or play something, and they'll just be like, yeah, and they'll just completely like believe it, and I'm like, well, being as you're playing along, I'll just lead you on a little bit further. Come on.
It is very true, very true. I love those type of people.
Yeah,
they're usually really sweet.
Yeah, they are definitely innocent people.
Yeah, there's very little maliciousness to them.
Yeah.
So everything's very logical or just taken as
taken as. Yeah. But, fair play though. Academically, like super smart. I think it's mad, isn't it? I wish that I think you could almost. I know people don't like to be generalised anymore, but you could almost like categorise people. And there probably is like in terms of like
we're not all so uniquely different that you can't compare us to other people. There's too many of us for that to be possible.
There is those personality like categories, isn't there?
Of course there is.
There's like we should do that.
There's people like us who are more, you call us entrepreneurial or creative and stuff like that. That's how we fit into those lanes. We don't do well being sat down to look at a screen academically. We don't function well there.
Not at all.
Yeah. Whereas there are other people that flow completely there, but then you throw them in front of an audience to talk to, and they'll absolutely freeze, and none of that intelligence will show through. Yeah, completely. But we need all that. I was talking about this to somebody else, and it was like, how everyone was talking about like communism doesn't work. Not going to go down some political class, don't worry. It's not going to get really boring. It's a really basic thing of saying, like, you got these elitists who are like, oh, the riffraff, do the dumb jobs and all that. But it's like, somebody who's happy, I can't relate to sitting in one job for 20 years and just slowly creeping your way through up and up or whatever, doing what it is. And I'm not talking about like high level sitting, bide your time, become a partner kind of jobs. I'm talking more about the office work kind of stuff. Well, and some people are genuinely sitting them and just enjoy it. That's all they need. That's all they want in life. And my point with those is, if we didn't have that type of mentality of person, our society would fall to pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if you tried to put people like me and you in a day-to-day functional job.
Yeah.
The country would crumble.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't. Like, you have to play to your strength, and some people get to a certain level.
Nothing would be on time. Cakes would be free. Biscuits would be everywhere.
Yeah.
No work could be done.
Exactly. Yeah, like people are just happy with, like, financially they've hit the kind of the threshold that they want, and for them, see, like, this is a problem maybe for me. They will be happy to be like, okay, it's not worth moving that next step up and getting that next pay rise is not worth the extra stress and pressure and work hours that need to be performed. Whereas I don't ever have that cut off. I'll always, like, whatever the next step is, no matter how detrimental it is to me, I'll
goal
always,
you're going to hit.
Yeah, because I'm so goal orientated, and that's something, like, I suppose it's a good thing in certain aspects. It's bad in others, and I have to check myself a lot, and I fuck myself up a lot, like health and fitness wise.
It's kind of beautiful that's just, they're like, this is good.
Yeah.
Because you'll often find as well, I've got some friends I've got who are like that, but they'll have really good hobbies. So they'll have their work life that goes and does this, and then they'll put aside whatever they need to fund this one hobby that they love doing. And they've got the perfect balance of just, my work's done and that's over, and then I've got the time to go and do this, and it's absolutely there. Just they've found their level. Yeah, I don't think we have that because we never have a level. We always have to have something, because we become so focused on different things. Our attention gets pulled in 8 different directions. Yeah, I think that is why we are the way we are. Because we can't focus on that one thing all the time. It's always something that's engaging us.
Yeah, I have to, like, have something to chase after, like, very, very goal orientated. And I've gone through periods in the past where I've not had a very clear goal, and it's like I don't. You
become useless, don't you?
Yeah, like I get really down and
really wishy-washy. You're kind of drifting through the days. It's very odd, and it is. We all have such different mentalities. It's mad. I think that's a good one, actually. Just as a general one, because we've tangented to it. Like, you don't have to be like the people that you follow who inspire you to do certain things. If you're not that same trait of person, the thing, this is it, right? When you look at stuff on social media, it's not to be identical to that person.
Yeah.
All it is to look at something that inspires you to be better as you. Was that your ankle?
Yeah, that was my ankle again. Did you hear that?
I don't know if that would have got picked up. It should have done. That was like you broke it. Oh my God. That's not good.
When I'm in bed, I always do that because I'm like, I stretch out and then I just go, pop my ankles.
Do you know what I do, right? Do you get this in the morning? I don't know if this is just me. So if you wake up in the morning and you're just woken up, okay?
Yeah.
You've not done much moving. You're just kind of like, new day, made it through another night. Yeah. Then if I, like, stretch my legs as far out as I can, like push them out, my legs kick involuntarily. Yeah. And the harder I stretch, the faster they kick. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Oh, good, I'm not broken.
Yeah.
I thought I was having
it's just like a little wobble almost.
No. Proper kick.
I wouldn't
not like not Bruce Almighty in it. Yeah. But I mean, they will literally, like, like flutter kicks for doing abs.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. As if you're in water with some scuba. Yeah. Or what are they called?
It's so fun. Sometimes I keep stretching as hard as I can for as long as I can to see if they'll just keep kicking, and they do until I have to stop just because I'm burning out. It's so weird. But then once they've done it once or twice, they don't do it again. Then it's like all the nerves just switching on.
Yeah,
on the
probably.
Legs. It's very weird.
It's strange. How do we get onto this topic?
But as I was saying about, what was I saying about?
I don't know.
About, oh yeah. So following people on, it's not about being identical to that person. So don't go looking at like that Dan, the Brazilian.
Dan Bilzerian.
Dan Bilzerian. Don't look at him and think I should have 20 women around me and be great at gambling all the time. That's going to, no, like, look at the way he shifts to a business and creates it and grows it and things like that. I don't think he's the best example, to be honest with you.
He's a bit weird. And there's so much shadiness about where he actually got his money from too.
Yes, and also I genuinely don't think he's that happy. But anyway, that's a whole other subject. So who you do follow, who you can relate to, just take aspects of what they do that makes you like to follow them, but then adapt them to the way you are in life. It's like doing a movement in the gym. So like, you might love, let's for argument's sake, I had a friend who loved doing close grip pull downs with the close bar. And I was like, that doesn't work for me, but I love the idea of the movement. So I adapted it and did it single arm with a twisting motion using the cable grip instead. So I took something that was genuinely beneficial, but didn't like how it was with me, the way I did it, the way they were doing it. So I made it my way and got the benefits through doing it through the method that I enjoy doing. And that is a very simplistic way of looking at how you should treat social media, because it's going fucking nowhere, right? It's getting bigger, if anything, and it is now, and it is inspiring people because it is showing more of what's going on and the creativity and stuff. And I think that's a real positive thing. I've been following way more creative. You call it a channel on Instagram? Profiles.
Yeah, profiles
of photography and stuff like that, and it's some of it's awe-inspiring, like. Some of the ideas, the creative ideas that people come up with for just how they represent like a region or where they've traveled or something. I'm just like, oh, that's so fucking clever.
Yeah.
Like even the dumb stuff, like they have their notebooks. They'll have they will written and drawn on their notebooks where they travel, so that it becomes part of the picture and stuff like that. It's cool. It's just so clever. And you're just like, I would have never thought of that. But then I also think, well, now you can though, because you're following this thing that you enjoy, and now you can implement that in your way. Like maybe I won't get a notebook and draw the same thing as that, but I think about using the things I use on a daily and incorporating them into my creativity.
It's inspiration, isn't it? And by definition, it's like not necessarily to replicate that exact thing, but it's to then spark a little idea, which then can branch off down its own routes.
This is it, yeah, sparking ideas and then going off with them in your own little way.
Yeah, because that happens a lot, doesn't it? I think that's it. Like inspiration's not just to see something that you like and then copy that exact thing, like, because, well, yeah, you can do that and people do it all the time, but realistically you're not actually doing anything yourself. You just rinse and repeating. And also I think that it's not, if you just did that as a route and you're like, right, okay, that's a business model that works, or that's an Instagram page that works or whatever, I'm just going to do the same as them. I think it's never going to be as successful because you haven't got the passion behind it.
There's no soul in it if you're doing that.
Yeah,
You've got to put your own twist and your own part of you into everything you do. I genuinely do that. I put a bit of me into everything I do, which is sometimes why it's which is often why it can be crushing when it fails sometimes. But at least you know if you're crushed when you failed, it meant something to you and you put your all into it. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, that is a good way of judging your socials and stuff, because I know I get a few questions every day about people feeling a bit lost and not knowing what to do. Looking at other people on Instagram as if they should be exactly like them, and that's not it. Remember, it's a highlight reel.
It fucking is, man.
It's a highlight reel, and the more like I look at it, the more I see, because I create the same content, I can see through the setup of it, so I can see what they've done to make it look a certain way, and I know that in real life, like simple things like if you see a picture of me, look at it the other day you walked in, so I was taking a picture of me wearing a cowboy hat and I had the white t-shirt on. It just looks like I'm stood at the end of my counter just having a chill in the picture. The reality of it is I was stood spread-legged so I could get into the right angle for the shot. I had a illuminated soft light to the right hand side of me because my face was too shadowed by the cowboy hat to just take it normally. Everything was aligned and centralized down the center of the aisle. All these little things that make the image pleasing to the eye are all things that you can't just capture in a quick moment on an iPhone.
There was a lot of thought.
Yeah, when you see one of these pictures that looks beautiful, there's a reason it looks that way, and it's not just been snapped. So if you go suddenly buy a camera and expect all your images to look that way, it's not going to happen. That can be disconcerting and disheartening even. But understand there's a process behind everything. But the reason when you look at an image is not to just look at the image and go and think that that's real. and reality is to look at it and go, right, that is a beautiful image, but then also understand the creativity behind it.
Yeah.
And I think once you start doing that, you start appreciating images more for how they're created rather than just what they look like.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You see into it more.
Yeah, because obviously there's all the setup that goes into it. Because photography is deep. I'm
It's
really
so much fun.
like scratching the surface of just like learning about. I don't partake myself, but I talk to you a lot, and one of our coaches, Tom's a really good photographer as well, and I always talk to him about like what he does, and he started doing these things on his story, which I really like, which he'll show you the raw image, and then he'll show you as he goes through the editing process, and he'll just show you snapshots, and like he'll highlight what he does, and whether that be like, you know, deleting some crap that's in there on Photoshop that you don't want in there to declutter it, and then taking it through Lightroom and bringing the colours up, because that's one thing that like grading the images, that's like, I don't
grading's huge, because what people don't understand is if you're not into photography, they'll look at an image and it will look stunning, but they're not processing the fact that that image has been graded. And by graded, what we mean is the shadows, the highlights, the whites, the colors, the contrast, everything has been adjusted. You can even change the shade of color that you see in the photo. So when you're trying to replicate these photos and wondering why they don't look the same, it's because the colors and shadows and everything have literally been manipulated to create the focal point and everything that you see in that image. There's a reason why everything has been done, and a lot of the times you'll figure this out if you start using programs like Lightroom. You can start playing with that and learning, but the better the equipment, the more the edit will look more natural, because if you've got a great lens that can take a great photo, the reason that's so good is because it takes in so much information that when you edit it and go, like, you can smash up all the things to like 100%.
Yeah.
And the image won't blow out because there's that much information in it. I'll dumb it down, but imagine there's just 10 times the amount of pixels in it. So when you slam everything up, there's way more pixels to deal with the image, but it's way more than that. It's all to do with the glass and the way it takes the light and deals and everything. Anyway, and a lot of the images are shot in RAW on the camera, and what that does is create quite a beige image, and that's because nothing's processed. You get a RAW image out, so then when you process it, you can maximize every single color, every single shadow, every single highlight, because the camera's done nothing to it other than the raw shot.
Yeah, you explained that to me last week, wasn't it, about the shooting in RAW and why it's beneficial for taking it into Lightroom after. And I thought about that quite a bit after, and obviously you said that most cameras, especially like on your phone, you take a photo and it'll automatically grade that for you, trying to get that as accurate as possible.
Really orange, too many yellows in it.
Yes, and then I actually started to, because I had a look at the raw images that you'd sent over as well, because you made some changes to them, and it made a lot more sense. It gives you a bit more of a blank canvas, because a lot of the time when you take a photo of something and you look at it in real life and you're like, that's kind of how it looks, but for some reason it's wrong.
Not what your eye's capturing.
Yeah, like I feel like you almost need to like over exaggerate something in an image for it to feel the same, to give you the same sense of beauty as reality.
There's also a thing where if you use opposite colors on the color spectrum in the image, your brain will adhere to that image more, because it's a balance. So if you use, that's why you'll often see a lot of grading is like quite greeny blues with orangey yellows. So that orange and that light blue, they're literally directionally opposite to each other on the color spectrum, on the color wheel, and so your brain affiliates with that because they are aligned.
Yeah, they're balanced.
It's a weird thing, and there's loads of tricks like that. But you'll see a lot of things. You'll see like a beautiful image, and it'll look really white and crisp and grey with a little bit of colour in it. Those images are basically no blues. All the blues have been taken out. All the yellows have been taken down, and what's left in there is the oranges, the reds, the whites are all highlighted more, and all stuff like that. It's these simple little tricks. The trick is to be able to edit them so that it's a very edited photo, but still looks natural.
Yeah.
And that's where the creativity comes in, and the enjoyment of photography as well. But when I walk into a room or walk out somewhere, I can see the framed image in my mind when I walk somewhere. So if I have a camera on me, what I've started doing now is I walk with the camera and I'm taking pictures just for my own enjoyment. Yeah. And I'll walk to a spot and I'll see the image, and then it's my challenge to myself to capture that image the way my eyes are seeing it. Yeah. And that's a learning process in itself.
It's a great bit of practice, isn't it? That?
Yeah, and it's really good. Like I put up a post today, just 2 pictures of me and then like 4 pictures of a swan and a church and all this stuff, and it's just I'm really enjoying that process, and I think what that does then is makes me enjoy picking the camera up more, which makes me more productive, makes me enjoy that more and get that kind of zing back in my step, rather than it being a job.
When I had a little crack at a bit of grading, I always found like I'd look at the image at the start and I'd be like, that looks all right, that does, and I'd make some changes and I was like, oh, that looks really weird, and then my eyes would adapt to how it now looks, and then I'd look at it before, and then I'd be like, oh, it looked weird before actually, I thought it looked normal, and then like I have to like almost go away from the image and then come back to it for it to like reset in my mind, because whenever I make a change, all my brain sees is what I've just changed, and it's like, oh, that looks fake, that does, and then I'll come back and be like, that looks perfect. So it's a weird one.
And the thing to realise with that as well is if you start staring at Instagram for 8 hours a day, all these like really highly edited, really nicely done images are going to start to become what your brain sees as normal. Then when you look at real world stuff, it's not going to look like that because it's not how it looks. Then you start to get this depressive deception of the world, like, because it doesn't look like what I expect. That's not the same. That's not as bright. That's not as clean. That's not as crisp.
Especially as people can't go out as much now.
So exactly, like,
if you just adapt to some hyper exaggerated version of reality.
Well, I mean, if people start getting so used to seeing themselves with a filter on their face because they're constantly taking pictures with filters on, then they're going to start hating seeing themselves in the mirror. It's a really vicious circle. So if you can start enjoying capturing real images and appreciating the beautiful side of rawness and reality, and then bending that into a creative reality, so you're not like, when you use a filter, you're faking it. Something's being faked, like it's changing eyes, it's changing skin, it's changing the shape of your face. There's none of that when you take it with a camera. All you do, and obviously we're taking out Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop. I don't. It's just too many buttons. It's I use basic. So I use Lightroom, which is pretty much colors, shadows, and all that kind of jazz. And if you can get just used to doing that, you can create beautiful images with raw, real images that you take, and it's going to keep you a little bit more happy with what you see through your eyeballs, I guess.
Because I think as well, like a big part of it, I don't know whether there's something that could be done about this, but I saw a load of photos taken and it was talking about the lens. What is it? The depth of the lens? What's it called?
The aperture. So like your 1.4s and stuff. So it creates a bokeh blur from front to back.
No, that's not it. So it's like the focus distance.
That's your aperture. Well, so basically, when we took those photos of you, the lens I was using was an 85mm fixed lens. So that means I can't zoom in or out on it. But what that also means is that lens is dedicated to that one distance set. This is a portrait lens, and I can change the focal point on that down to 1.4, which, so the higher the focal point, the more the things are in focus front to back. The lower the f-stop, they call it, focal point, the lower the f-stop, the shorter the range in which the lens captures things in focus. So when I took a picture of you and even though there's a gate only 10 feet behind you and that gate's completely blurred, that's because the focal point was 1.4. Now 1.4 is very low, and that's why that lens is quite expensive, because it does that job, but it does it exceedingly well. A lot of lenses will be like 4.5 as the lowest that they can go as a standard lens. So you start to get specialists when you get down below like the 2s and stuff. You get a lot of 1.8s for a very good price and they will do a great job. But 1.8 will give you a good front to back blur. So everything in the foreground is in focus and the back is completely blurred. Or if you focus on the background, anything in the foreground is completely blurred.
It's weird, isn't it, how your eyes like want that?
That's how we see.
I was about to say,
that's why it's so appealing to you, because that's how we see things. We have a singular focal point, and until we go panoramic, and then our f-stop changes. So a lot of good photographers are shooting the way your eyes see, which is why we shoot movies in 25 frames a second. Not 24 anymore, because now everything's digital, so 25 now. That's because that's the way we see the world. So when we shake our hand in front of our face, you get that, you can't see all my fingers moving now, it's just a blur, because the eyes are catching up. Whereas if you shot that in 100 frames a second, it looks really weird because there's no blur, so your brain can't deal with it. It looks almost like faked and jerky. So that's why you shoot in 25 frames a second is what your brain adheres to, and that's why we like it.
I always wondered that because I saw that I was like, surely that like it would make more sense that they would film in like the highest frame per second. But well,
you can. You can film in the highest whatever.
It looks wrong, doesn't it?
Then you have the option of doing slow mos and whatever, but you bring it down. If you put it into a 24 frame a second, it will then only use 24 frames, so you still get the blur back. But filming in 24 is obviously going to be better because you can get less digital distortion or enhancement or whatever. Right. So yeah, you tend to want to shoot what you want to shoot in slow-mo in a higher frame rate and then shoot the rest of it in normal frame rates. But here's a really cool thing. So you know when people go through like a moment with like, what? In life, where it's like, that was a scary moment and everything seems to slow down. Yeah. Do you know why that is?
Oh, it's something to do with your adrenaline, maybe?
Yes, let me impart some wisdomness.
Go for it, Lex.
Let me just stroke my beard.
Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, tangent. You will notice that my beard is very hefty right now. Isn't it? It's quite chunky. It's the biggest it's been for a while. Yeah. And the reason is because I'm growing it out to be able to do a beard trimming video. And
I like the extra.
Well, yeah, but watch this. If I look down, so it splays on my collar, and then if I look up, it's now splayed out. Yeah. So that's why you get people doing this thing with their hands, always like bringing it back in when it's too big. So I used to have a big square beard. It looked shit. So this is my thing about photos. It would look great in a photo because I'd set it and sit in the photo and take it. But the moment I was in real world, moving my head around, looking left and right, putting my head down, it would constantly splay out and just look like this giant, and I constantly have to be pulling it back down.
Parting.
Yeah. So that's why I go
Centre
much more
part of the beard.
Yeah, it's mad. But anyone who saw the beard in pictures would be like, "That's a sick beard." And I'm like, yeah, for that picture, it's sick. But you put it under a motorbike helmet. Wait till I take that sucker off. You're gonna look like some kind of deranged man's coming at you asking for tea and cake. But so I'm growing this. But it is luscious. I've really put some oils through it.
I was going to say, it looks
healthy.
Super. Yeah, it does look super healthy.
But so it means when I take all the length off now, I should be cutting all the dead ends off, so it should look super tight. But I'm going to film a whole video on how to do that because a lot of people are growing beards now, and I'm loving it. I love the fact that like people thought it was a hipster movement. Yeah. No, beards were around when my granddad here was going on. Yeah. Like they just took a break. Yeah. My beards have always been a manly thing.
Yeah, my granddad, it was a few years ago now, but he like just he always used to have a beard when he was young. Yeah. And then like about 5 years ago, he just started growing a beard again, and then just kept a beard for a little while. And he's got rid of it again now, but like
it's just the fact that now they're becoming a bit more tamed. Yeah, and the styles and options because they're becoming more mainstream. It's like tattoos.
I remember I was at Maryhill, which is a local shopping centre by me. This was, probably 10 years ago. And I think it was like, was it a French Connection shop? I think it was FC UK or somewhere, whatever. It's not there anymore. And there was a huge poster of a model up on the wall, and it was like a real, basically like a bust. So you saw his chest and his face, and he had a huge
ZZ Top beard.
Yeah. And I was like, this was before beards became trendy, like a couple of years. And I was like, what the fuck is he a model? He looks like he's homeless. Little did I know, a few years later, and it wasn't a well-kept beard like nowadays. Yeah. But like, that was like the early stages of like beards becoming popular
again.
It's
no different to like, remember, men didn't used to have long hair unless they were in a rock band. Yeah. You know? But now, we've got all kinds of hairstyles. It's just that adapting over time. So it becomes more mainstream, more people start growing it, then they become just dug in and settled, and beards are definitely here to stay, which is a good thing because I ain't shaving mine off again. Yeah. Even my mum likes my beard now, and she was at me for the first 5 years to get rid of it. And the other day she was like, hey, "I like the beard."
Finally, it does see. I can't even like.
I look like such a child without the beard, though. It's ridiculous. Like if I came at you at a road rage incident and stepped out my car without the beard, you'd be like, "I'm having him." You might have muscles, but that face is that of a toddler. I'm smashing that up. Yeah, I'm gonna beat him with a rattle.
I saw like it was a random YouTube video that popped up, and it was talking about like beards versus no beard, and like how it suits different people's faces. And they gave like a few really good examples, and like Henry Cavill was one of them because they showed him with a beard and him without, and how he was a lot more handsome without because he's got a very strong like lower third of his face, like a really good jawline and like structure. And then they showed.
You're saying I've got a Jabba the Hutt lower the face.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And then they showed like Tom Hardy, who's got like a much stronger like upper half, but then he's got quite a weak chin. So then when he's got like heavy stubble or a beard, ups his handsomeness level like considerably compared to clean shaven, which makes a lot of sense.
Because underneath this beard, I'm black and knees.
Yeah.
So it drastically changes me.
drastically.
Yeah, without it, I'm 4'2" in Blackanese.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, I don't know how it has the height, but it works
I
tremendously.
don't question these things.
It's those boots, mate.
I just apply oil. What was the point of me talking about? What were we talking about before the beard? I tangented.
I don't know.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, you were doing the beard trimming thing? You're going to do a video?
That was what I tangented onto. Oh, god damn it. I've totally forgotten.
Should we get onto some questions? We ain't got long left, have we?
Yeah,
We've
go on, get some
questions.
Yeah, go
How
on.
long have we got?
20 minutes.
Okay, all right, that's fairly cool. Do you want to have a look through some of them, or shall I start going through? So we've got some of the questions that we didn't get to.
Yeah,
last
we're just
week.
gonna. I didn't ask any more because we had so many from last.
Oh, did you not?
No, these are just from last time.
All right,
still,
cool.
because we just had so many.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd asked for more. So, no, that's fine. We've still got plenty.
Yeah, there's loads.
There was one that was really funny. What's the biggest wild animal you could single-handedly gaffer tape to a lamppost?
What the hell is that? What's the single large? I reckon a poodle.
Poodles get quite big, don't they? Like a
Yeah,
full
they get
poodle.
massive.
Yeah.
They get as big as a Dalmatian, but Dalmatians are rough, mate. I reckon a poodle.
I don't know. I think poodles look a bit aggressive.
No, they
sometimes.
can be aggressive. Do you know that poodles were the number one dog at one point, maybe not now, that would eat their owners when they died?
Ooh.
Yeah. Poodles are nasty, right, when you're dead.
I'm wondering if that's due to the demographic of people that have poodles.
But
like
yeah,
little
all
old
the
ladies.
people. But the thing was that they would eat you.
Mm.
Yeah. They just, every time that
They
they
were
came
hungry.
up to sniff you, it wasn't for love. It was just to check if you were done yet.
Yeah. You didn't yet? No, still love.
But I'm
Come
going
back later.
poodle.
So you,
Or no, what about one of those? What's those freaking anti-allergy dog things?
well,
They
a
look like a
Labradoodle.
teddy bear.
Oh, it's not a Labradoodle.
It might be Labradoodle.
No,
yeah,
Labradoodle.
Must be because they grow massive.
Oh yeah, they get quite big.
Yeah,
Labradoodles,
one of them.
yeah.
You could definitely
I'd say-
take one of them to a
I'd
lamppost.
say a poodle's probably bigger though.
Do you reckon?
Maybe
I
not.
don't know.
Maybe not. Are we going off body weight? Are we going off height, body weight, or
I'm
height?
going
or-
off that when you stand them
or
on their
mass.
rear paws and hold their arms up.
I'd go. You could do a Great Dane. They're soft as shit. They are.
Are they?
Yeah, Great Danes are like proper chilled. They'd let you
I like
do
the
it.
fact we're picking on dogs.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about
The
an
thing is,
ostrich?
no,
Nah, you're not
ostrich is going to take your motherfucking eye out.
Yeah, they're mean.
Yeah.
You can ride an ostrich though, can't you?
I saw it in Prince of Persia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that. A flamingo, maybe. Flamingos are
No, they're well skittish. They're not that big either, are they?
they're decent. I think they're relatively
Not as
tall.
big as an ostrich.
No, but I'm not going to fucking gaffer tape an ostrich, am I? Well, it depends. Like, I might sneak up on it and just tape its neck to it.
What about an anaconda?
I
Tame anaconda. They're pretty freaking long. You can get that right up the lamppost.
It'd probably want to wrap itself around.
Yeah.
Just wrap a bit of.
There we go. Anaconda.
Yeah. I remember when I was at primary
Tamed
school.
anaconda. A pre-fed anaconda.
Yeah, they brought an anaconda. Yeah, but I still wouldn't trust that it's just not going to wrap around you and kill you just for the fun of it.
Yeah, but you're giving
Like
it a lamppost. They're not smart.
Yeah, I know.
We'll
But
feed it a labradoodle before we do it.
there's got to
Then
be
you get a double whammy. So a labradoodle inside an anaconda. There we go. Question done.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna agree with Lex on that one.
Sorted.
What we got? So these are a few that we've been through before. Would you ever get a Kraken tattoo or a tattoo of your favourite food, drink, pepperoni pizza?
No.
So Kiri, who works with us.
I might get the like an octopus, like a kraken.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get the word kraken
Yeah.
on me, as in like the food.
So Kiri's got
Kiri's got pizza and everything on
yeah,
it.
Kiri's got a slice of pizza tattooed on her leg.
That suits her.
Yeah, and she's got an octopus called Inky.
Yeah, I've
tattooed
seen
on.
it. It's good at it all. But when she shows it to me, my brain goes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I'm sure she's got like
on her.
Yeah, she's got how you doing, as in like
Yeah,
how Joey
but
from
it just
Friends
suits
does
her.
it.
It just suits her. It suits her personality. It suits the way she looks. It suits her whole vibe.
Yeah,
And she's never going to change from that vibe either.
No,
it's
no,
not.
at
It's
all.
not a stage. It's not a phase.
no.
Whereas with me, it would be like I'm so particular
Yeah.
in the way things look. I couldn't have something that free, I guess. is the
Yeah,
word for it.
that's specific to that like kind
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah.
What we got?
I just sent you all the latest, the ones we didn't get to last time. It should be the last 3 messages that you've got.
Okay, do you guys ever worry about health scares / concerns, and how do you deal with it?
I check my balls on a regular basis in the shower. Give them a good
I
old
just do it for the fun
squidge
of it.
around. And then usually I
Move on up
to the shower head. No, that was creepy. That's about all I kind of do.
Check your own prostate.
Yeah,
Every day, to be fair.
Once or twice a week. No, I don't really, because I pay attention. I'm healthy as a rule. I don't do anything that tends to push me along life. I'm not a smoker. I've never been. I'm not a heavy drinker, even though we talk a lot about drinking. We're actually very, what's the word? Refrained in what we do. Everything's very accountable. Nothing's just kind of free range and gets out of control. Obviously healthy for a long period of time. Always been active as a kid. Never been overweight. So I'm going to be honest, mate. I'm quite lax, really. Like, unless something's bleeding, I'm kind of like, meh, it'll be all right. And if it's not all right in like a week or two, then I'm all right. But I have had moments where my friends have had people pass away from stuff like bone cancer and things like that. The only thing that scares me is cancer. But then also, I think we're getting really good with catching it and dealing with it and stuff like that. But it's not in my family, so.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm probably the same. I've always done my best to be relatively active. I've gone through periods of time where I've been less active and my nutrition's been worse and my sleep's been worse.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been generally fairly good. There's a little bit of cancer in my family, not like my nan and an uncle, I think. So we've had little bits, nothing.
What were they?
Nothing crazy. I think it was a bowel cancer, and I can't remember what the other one was.
You see, I had my great aunt who was like my grandma. She passed from lung cancer.
Yeah,
but she did smoke through the early part of her life.
Yeah,
but. You just don't know.
Yeah.
She lived through a war. God knows what went on. And nobody else in my family has gone that way. Everyone's been like, Granddad went at 99. My great-grandma went at like 96, 97, some crazy thing. Nana, she just kept trooping on. Yeah. So a lot of them, they've trooped on quite... And even Tess, who it was, who passed from the lung cancer, she was in like her 80s. You know? So...
Well, our average age is like 82 right now. So.
When you're in that age, that's just what gets you.
Yeah.
That's just...
That's
what death is at that age. It's
something
cancer.
will get us at some point.
What I mean? So it's one of those... I think if the question is about, like, listen, maybe you're a bit worried and maybe you're constantly worried about yourself and checking your things, you're reading too much in the papers. Here's the thing. Look at your family history. If there is something serious in your family history, keep on top of that. Get your markers checked. Stay on top of it. But other than that, listen... You cannot control life and the world around you. You have to enjoy it. Just be as healthy as you can, be as safe as you can, and just, unless there's a sign of something, don't worry about it. And here's another thing. Don't go staring at something, poking at things, pulling at things, because you're going to start finding things that aren't there.
Yes, yeah. I think to a certain extent, though, have you heard of like health anxiety, where that's like
my
a
friend
medical...
used to have it, man.
Yeah.
He used to, like, if he had a slight ache or pain because his mum passed from something very quickly and very unexpected, it fucked him up for at least 5 years. He's much, much, much better now.
Yeah.
But it really messed him up, and understandably so.
Yeah.
But he's a very intelligent human being and quite logical.
Yeah.
So over time, he realised, it's not worth my while worrying about this all the time.
That's it. 'Cause, like, it's a real like mental condition almost. It's a real thing, isn't it? Like my best friend had the exact same thing. He was in a house fire in the middle of the night, and it literally was like a complete fluke that him and his partner managed to survive. Like, he very, very nearly didn't survive. It was, like I said, complete fluke. And he got out with minimal burns and some bit of like damage to his lungs just from the inhaling smoke and whatnot. And he said he was all right for a little bit, and then he started to have trouble sleeping, and then he started to think that there was something wrong with him. And over the course of a few months, and I'm sure he won't mind me talking about this because it's something he's pretty much better from now, but he was ill and he knew something was not right with him, and he knew something was... He just couldn't put his finger on it, and he started examining everything, and he went to the doctors over and over and over again, and like they just couldn't find anything, and it was health anxiety. He was convinced that he was dying of something, and he didn't know what it was. And I think it was like, we spoke a lot after the fact, but he, we're I'm 28, he's the same age as me. This was maybe a couple of years ago, so 26, you don't really think I'm going to die at some point.
No.
And all of a sudden, he just realised how easy it is to just not exist anymore.
Yeah.
And then I think he just realised, fuck, I'm actually going to die at some point. I almost fucking died. And then, like, that just triggered all this, like, kind of...
anxiety towards death.
Yeah, towards
mortality.
Death. Yeah, and he was just convinced that there was something the matter. And, like, now he looks back on it and he's like, I knew that there was something wrong, but there wasn't. But he knew that the doctors were wrong. He knew that his family was wrong. And, like, because I was trying to, like, calm him down to be like, okay,
try and create some logic.
Yeah, but also I was saying, that's fine, mate. You want to go and get the checks anyway. There's no harm in doing it. Because at the end of the day, like, we've got the NHS for a reason, so if you feel anxious and if you feel like something's wrong, go and do something about it. But
accept when they say you're okay.
Yes. But sometimes get a second opinion. If you're not 100% happy, get a second opinion. If that's also confirming, then they're probably onto something. Because don't get me wrong, doctors are human as well. They make mistakes.
Yeah.
And also, especially GPs, they deal with so many people. Like day after day after day, they can get sceptical in certain situations.
Saying that though, like me and my geary thumbs that I've had fixed, they were very good with that.
Yeah,
like I mean that's a daft thing to come in with. I've got clicky thumbs.
Yeah,
and they were hand specialists, whacking around. They are, they're there to help you. It's just if you're in certain areas, I think you struggle more. Yeah. If you're in like a very high population area, then they're dealing with a lot of nonsense. Yeah, and they probably do get a bit fed up. So
I know that Chris is my best mate. His doctors were. He said they were absolutely brilliant, and they completely kind of went along with everything that he needed to. And they also were talking about the fact that this may be health anxiety, and they said if you want to talk to somebody about this to try and help it. So they fully helped in the physical side of things, but also were making recommendations for like the mental side of things and dealing with the trauma of like nearly fucking dying.
So I would say if you're not happy with one GP, definitely go and find another, because some do get stuck in the ways and can be quite abrupt and can be quite devoid of humanity. I think because they've just been in it for so long, they just get desensitized. So sometimes you do need a bit of that human, bit of humanity to come in and just say, listen, this is what this could be.
Yeah, it's the same everywhere, isn't it? Sometimes you get good service, sometimes you get bad. It might just be a bad day for them. And
it all leads back to talking to more people. Just talk to more people. Yeah. Open up, don't hide it, don't let it sit and fester.
It's like what I said to you, it was a good few podcasts ago about where the people were basically appealing to get out of jail. And the biggest factor towards the approval rates of when people got like basically approved for early parole or whatever it's called was the time of day. And it was around the rest and sleep. So you might go and see your doctor like when they're shattered after a long day.
To be early in the day.
Yeah, and they don't care. They just want you out the door, and they're like, "Nah, there's nothing wrong with you." Yeah. Or just like take some painkillers and come back in a week if it still hurts or whatever else.
Get the early appointment and be amiable. Yeah, be amiable even is the right word. Amiable. What's amiable?
I don't know. Made it up. That's something else. Be amiable and amiable.
Be both. Just be whatever you need to be to just be polite in there, and they'll help you more than if you're aggressive and trying to push that. Cool beans. Right, next one.
Oh, I got wrapped up in that one. I completely forgot about the questions.
It was quite a deep one though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Favorite DC villain and why?
Ooh, favorite DC villain. That's a tough one because they're all represented so differently. I mean, you immediately go to Joker, don't you? Because he's just so diabolically brilliant.
Yeah, I really like the kind of Batman Arkham Asylum, the Arkham game series.
Yes,
Joker is brilliant, which is a very close representation of the comic book Joker.
Yeah, the comic book Joker. The thing is he's got a huge pain threshold. There's nothing superhero like about him. He just finds pain amusing. Yeah, which is quite scary. It's genuinely quite a psychologically effective character. Yeah. So you kind of got to go for Joker, but pulling up behind him, I kind of like the Penguin. Yeah, I like the theatrics of the Penguin. Yeah. I like that.
Cobblepot.
Yeah. Cobblepot. Played by
Danny DeVito in
the original, but now being played by the guy from Phone Booth and why can't I remember names?
The Irish guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell is the Penguin in the new one.
Is he?
Yes, mate. I'm so looking forward to it.
An unattractive
Top
Colin Farrell.
movies for coming up. Top
Is
Gun.
he going to be Sexy Penguin? Sexy Irish Penguin.
Sexy Irish Penguin. Sexy Irish Penguin in The Batman. Yeah. Top Gun and the new Mission Impossible. Yeah. There's just... Oh, and Dune. 4 great movies I've got to look forward to.
I'm so excited for Dune. I think I said last time about that.
You tried to explain it to me the other day in like 20 minutes, and you still haven't even scratched the surface. So
there is so much.
I think
to the series.
We all need to prep for the Dune release.
Yeah,
this is not working. This hairy wobble thing.
The thing is, like Star Wars took so much. Like, I'm not saying they copied, but they definitely lent so much from that.
Oh, really?
And it's great. Star Wars has turned out to be like really good. I'm not a massive fan of it.
Latest Star Wars has more holes than Swiss cheese, and I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So like, I think the originals were decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, the later ones again, they've been hit and miss. But yeah, they lent heavily from a lot of the stuff. But yeah,
I hope they do it justice.
Yeah,
I hope it's a 3-hour movie.
I think it's Denis Villeneuve. So it's going to be at least 2 to 2.5. But the first book is spread over 2 films. So they're only this first release. They haven't really talked about it because I suppose to the general public.
Filmed them sequentially though? Please don't let say they're waiting 4 years between.
No, they haven't because of COVID. They're literally
but they're going to afterwards. Hopefully, just film them back to back.
I'm guessing they're waiting to see how it's going to do because they've just had a shitload of drama because they were gonna release it directly to like straight to home, basically miss out the cinema.
HBO it, yeah.
And then all the actors, like Denis Villeneuve, the director, they all just kicked off. They were like, this was all filmed to be shown on cinema.
Some films are cinema movies. Yeah, they need to be on a big screen. They need to be.
And especially something like this, because it's on such a grand scale, and it's literally like intergalactic wars. It's not like space battles, but like, you're traveling from multiple planets. There's gigantic, monsters there, and just everything's on an epic scale. And yeah, it just needs to be seen, and especially I think any Denis Villeneuve film, like, you know what I mean. He's just like the new Blade Runner and stuff like that. It's so cinematic and beautifully filmed.
I hope it's more interesting.
Yeah, like so that's definitely slow paced, but either way, you can't say that that's not a beautiful movie film to look at. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully they've got a lot of that, but so much goes on in June. To even try to condensing that down to 6 hours over 2 films or 5 hours over 2 films, that's still they're still having to cram stuff in there, and they will still have to cut stuff out. So I don't think pacing is going to necessarily be an issue with it, but I trust him.
Cool. I trust him. Next one.
Yeah, what we get. Future CREWCast meet and greet, Turtle Bay, rum platter, taster afternoon, and then some.
Mate, if that's the meet and greet, just 3 of us can turn up. I'll be happy for that one.
Yeah,
get it in.
Well, we said we could do something at BCB.
We'll definitely. I mean, this is still new, and we need to really get it out there. But once we do, and we've got a good regimental following, and everything's going on, we can definitely do some stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. Maybe. But it's early days for that yet.
Yeah,
Early days for that yet. But we'll do little things.
Well, you can just do people don't give a fuck about meeting me, but people want to meet you.
They will. They'll be like, I want to see the girth.
Yeah. I might not be girthy by then.
See the girth.
But obviously, I think it'd be a good idea for you to do a meet and greet.
We'll do some fun stuff some point. Once we're free.
Yeah, once we're allowed back in the gym, I think that'll be quite cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Turtle Bay. Actually, that was from that Brett versus Godzilla guy.
God, he's a question kid.
I know. Yeah, he's always on it with the questions. He added me on Instagram the other day, and then I went,
when COVID's over, because he won't be able to ask as many questions.
I know he's back to work. He's just at home, just like question. Write that one down. But cool. Yeah, he added me, and I clicked onto his profile, and he's got if I remember right, he had a load of whiskies and rums on his page. So I think he's big into it as well. So maybe he needs to start making some recommendations.
I've had more people sending through pictures of all the rums and whiskies they bought from the show, which is very cool. Still, I appreciate those. Send more. Right, 2.5 minutes.
What have we got? How to drink in moderate, and how to prepare the body for a good time.
All right. Okay, so you want to go out drinking. We've covered that already. Yeah, have a look at our previous podcast. We talk about how to manage your food in time with going out, and it's just basically get all your fats and carbs in prior to going out, and then just eat the proteins afterwards.
Okay. What to snack on to stay in shape?
Oh, good question. Do you know what? I was talking to someone the other day. Do you know what's a secret awesome thing? Rhubarb. It is 0.8 grams of carbohydrate per 100 grams.
God damn. I love rhubarb.
I love rhubarb. And you can stew it down.
Yeah.
You can add sweetener to it, or real sugar, or honey, whatever you want to sweeten it up. But you can basically put it on top of freaking anything and make it taste awesome. So one of my things would be rhubarb and nuts.
Yeah, my grandparents used to grow rhubarb in the back garden. I used to love that.
Yeah, fresh rhubarb.
For me, now I'm going to take rhubarb.
Yeah.
A cucumber. I used to like
Yeah,
eat so much
it tastes
cucumber.
like nothing to me.
I like cucumber.
It's
Like,
refreshing and lovely, but it tastes like nothing.
when I was dieting last time, I'd eat a whole cucumber a day just to like fill my stomach up with
The
stuff.
other one I don't agree with that you do like is sugar-free jelly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't like that.
It has weird anything with sugar-free like aspartame. I can taste it. It's like chemicals to me. What do I snack on? Well, I mean, I'm quite high fat, so one of my big snacks is hummus, and then I'll have
Hummus is good. That was always mine. Hummus with cucumber.
Well, yeah, hummus. You can have it with crackers. You can have it with celery. I do like it with celery, or like you said, you can have it with your weird cucumber.
I'd literally be there with like a whole cucumber and a pot of hummus and just like snapping it off.
That's not phallic at all.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going for it.
Yeah.
And rice cakes, I know they're like so cliche, but like you can get some flavoured rice cakes, relatively low calorie.
Salt and vinegar one's usually best bet.
Yeah, and they taste lovely, I think. And they taste nice, and it's nice, sweet or savoury snack because you get them little snack jokes, can't you, with the chocolate ones and stuff.
We are full of wisdom.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad for a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be hearing this on a Monday, so I hope you have a good week, guys. And hit us up with more questions, and obviously, as always, in the comment section, leave your favourite insult for during your road rage antics.
Yes, there we go.
There we go.
Your favourite thing to say to somebody when they've pissed you off on the road.
Yeah, with that one, we'll leave you with a toodle pip from me.
And a doodle pip from me.
Toodle pip. And we're done. Did you press record? I hope you did, because otherwise...
Yeah, we're recording. We're still recording. Oh, what was that on you?
That was me cracking.
Yeah.